Chapter 1. The Silent Signs of Creation. Since time immemorial, long before human words tried to define the sacred, creation has been speaking, not in languages of men, but in the subtle movements of wind through trees, the rhythm of rain, and the curious approach of animals who seem to know more than we ever told them. There are mysteries that linger in plain sight, whispers encoded in the behavior of nature, and those with awakened spirits feel them. The chosen ones feel them. And though the world may label such people as dreamers, the truth is far deeper. There is a mark upon the soul of the chosen one that no earthly eye can perceive, but the spiritual realm recognizes immediately. This mark is not inked in flesh or proven by lineage. It is imprinted in essence, in vibration, in the resonance of a life that has been set apart by divine hands. And while fellow humans may miss, it may even mock or misjudge it, creation never does. Creation sees what we conceal, honors what we forget, and bows in reverence to those anointed by the breath of the Creator. Animals, in particular, have always possessed an uncanny sensitivity to the sacred. They sense what we hide. They respond to energies that no scientific instrument can quantify. From the ancient teachings of indigenous tribes to the visions of Christian mystics, animals have been seen as messengers, protectors, and affirmers of spiritual callings. What happens then when an eagle hovers just overhead on a day of despair, or when a dragonfly lingers, refusing to leave your presence? These are not coincidences. These are confirmations. In the spiritual journey of the chosen ones, isolation is often the crucible through which clarity is forged. Nights are long, prayers feel unanswered, and doubt prowls like a hungry shadow. But it is precisely in these hollow moments that heaven whispers not through thunder, but through soft signs a butterfly's dance, the stillness of a white dove, the unblinking gaze of an owl in the dark. The world may call it random, but the chosen one knows its recognition. Chapter 1 is a call to remembrance, to awaken your spirit to the voices of creation that have always surrounded you. Think back to the animals that have crossed your path in significant moments, not just physically, but symbolically. Have they come to comfort, to alert, to remind you of something you've forgotten within yourself? Perhaps they were not merely passing through. Perhaps they were sent. There is a sacred ecosystem beyond the veil of human logic, one in which God speaks constantly through creation. The Psalms declare, "The heavens declare the glory of God. The skies proclaim the work of His hands. Day after day, they pour forth speech. Night after night, they reveal knowledge." Psalm 19:1-2. This is not metaphor. This is mystery revealed, and animals are among the most consistent vessels of that communication. The chosen ones are not alone. Even when abandoned by society or forsaken by friends, they are watched, accompanied, and validated by forces older than time, forces that wear feathers, fur, wings, or even paws, and when they appear, silently, unprovoked, is often to say what our hearts have been longing to hear. You are seen. You are not forgotten. Heaven is near. In this series, we will explore 9 sacred animals that act as divine emissaries to the chosen ones. But first, let us still our hearts and return to listening to truly, listening not with the ears, but with the soul, for the signs have already been given. Creation is not silent. It never has been, and for those who have been marked by heaven, it never will be. Chapter 2. The Dragonfly, Messenger of Lightness and Transformation. It begins in stillness, near a body of water, under a quiet sky. You may not have noticed it at first, but then, from the corner of your eye, it emerges, a flicker of transparent wings, hovering without fear, drawn toward you by something unseen. The dragonfly. It does not speak. but it speaks volumes for the chosen ones. This encounter is not random. It is deeply spiritual. The dragonfly's journey begins hidden beneath the surface of water, an unseen life of transformation that mirrors the experience of the chosen. Long before its wings ever touch the wind, it is being formed in darkness, in silence, in solitude. So too are those set apart by the divine. Their seasons of obscurity are not punishment, they are preparation. When a dragonfly lands nearby, without hesitation or fear, it's more than a visitation. It's a divine whisper that your hidden season is over. It's time to rise, time to fly, and above all, time to leave behind the weights that have held you to the ground of human limitation, old shame, lingering resentment, the echoes of rejection. The dragonfly comes to declare that those are no longer yours to carry. In many spiritual traditions, the dragonfly represents the element of air, the breath of life, the invisible movement of spirit. It reflects light in 1,000 directions, a symbol of clarity, vision, and new perspective. When it hovers near a chosen one, it's not just recognizing them, it's celebrating them, affirming the evolution that has taken place within. Think of the words in Isaiah 40:31. But those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. The dragonfly, though smaller, is a similar sign and affirmation that renewal has come, that spiritual wings are not only ready, but required for the next phase of the journey. The dragonfly also teaches a sacred kind of movement, light and precise, never wasteful. It calls the chosen to move in alignment with divine purpose, not rushing, not flailing, but gliding with intention. This small, seemingly fragile creature thrives in both water and air, a bridge between the emotional and the spiritual, the depths and the heights. And perhaps, most importantly, it arrives when faith has been tested, but not broken, when all seemed lost, and yet you held on, when no one saw your silent belief. Yet you persisted. The dragonfly's arrival is confirmation your endurance has not gone unnoticed. The heavens have sent a sign. So the next time this sacred being graces your presence, pause, listen, feel. Let your spirit interpret what the world cannot explain. The dragonfly is not here to entertain. It is here to awaken. It is saying, you have been seen. You have been shaped. You are ready to rise. Chapter 3. The Eagle, Vision, Solitude, and the High Calling. It is said that when an eagle appears in the sky, something sacred is unfolding. With wings stretched wide, it soars beyond the reach of ordinary birds, high above the noise, the confusion, the mundane. For the chosen one, the eagle is not just a symbol of power. It is a mirror of their divine assignment. The eagle does not travel in flocks. It is not a creature of the crowd. It is alone, but never lonely, for it is alone with purpose. In the same way, the chosen are often separated not because they are rejected, but because they are being refined. The path of spiritual elevation is one of solitude. The eagle affirms this truth, not with words, but with presence. To see an eagle during moments of doubt or despair is not mere coincidence. It is a sacred interruption. The spirit realm is breaking into the visible world, urging the chosen to lift their eyes, to remember, to recognize that they were not created to dwell in low places, but to rise above storms and navigate winds that would ground others. The eagle uses the storm to ascend. What others flee, it confronts. What others fear, it uses as fuel. So too must the chosen learn. Resistance is not always opposition, it can be propulsion. God does not remove all adversity, but He empowers those marked by His breath to move through it with majesty. In Scripture, the eagle is repeatedly used as a symbol of renewal and divine strength. You yourselves have seen what I did to Egypt, and how I carried you on eagle's wings and brought you to myself. Exodus 19:4. The chosen are lifted, not by their own striving, but by invisible wings of grace. But there's more. The eagle's eyes can see miles ahead. It perceives what others overlook, spiritually. This is the gift of divine vision, the ability to see through illusion, to discern truth in the fog, to perceive paths where others see only dead ends. When an eagle crosses your path, the message is clear. Heaven is awakening your sight. In a world full of distractions and half-truths, the chosen one must learn to trust this sharpened perception. It will not always be validated by others. It may even isolate you further, but it is the very tool that ensures you do not lose your way. Solitude, then, is not a punishment. It is a preparation. It is where you learn the language of the winds. It is where your wings are strengthened. It is where your identity is confirmed. So when the eagle flies near, especially in moments when you are quiet, questioning, or on the edge of breakthrough, know that it is not a random creature. It is a celestial herald, reminding you you were made to soar. You were called to heights, and heaven still watches, even in silence. Chapter 4. The Butterfly. The Sacred Metamorphosis of the Chosen. There is no transformation more miraculous than that of a caterpillar into a butterfly. From the lowly ground to the open sky, its journey is marked by struggle, surrender, and sacred renewal. And for the chosen one, this metamorphosis is more than symbolic. It is prophetic. The monarch butterfly, with its rich colors and epic migrations, is no ordinary creature. It is a traveler between realms, a whisperer of seasons. When it appears, fluttering through the air as if guided by an invisible current, it brings a message not of mere beauty, but of divine passage. You are changing. You are becoming. Every chosen one must undergo this inner death, the dissolution of the old identity, the shedding of worldly attachments, the silent cocooning away from public view. What may seem like stagnation to others is actually sacred gestation. In that still, hidden space, wings are being formed. The butterfly's struggle to emerge is essential. Without the effort, its wings would remain too weak to fly. So too must the chosen embrace the tension, the tears, the lonely battles. The difficulty is not punishment. It is empowerment. Biblically, we are told in 2 Corinthians 5:17, if anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. The old has gone. The new is here. This is not poetic language. It is divine decree. Transformation is a holy requirement for the elevation of your spirit. So when a monarch butterfly appears in times of sorrow, transition, or reflection, recognize the divine choreography. Heaven is affirming your process. God is saying, I see you in the cocoon. I know it is dark, but wings are coming. Butterflies do not return to the ground. They do not envy the caterpillar. They do not apologize for flying, and neither should you. The old you has served its purpose. The new you carries a calling that can no longer be hidden. The flight of the butterfly reminds us to move lightly, to trust that even after pain, there can be grace. Even after loss, there can be color. Even after death, there can be resurrection. You are being called to rise, not with force, but with faith. To fly, not in escape, but in purpose. And when creation sends the butterfly to your path, it is heaven's way of saying, your new time has begun. Let your wings unfold and do not look back. Chapter 5. The White Dove, Silent Presence, and the Peace Beyond Words. There are moments in life when words fail, when even prayer feels hollow, and the soul searches for reassurance that can only come from the divine. It is in these moments that the white dove arrives, not to dazzle, not to impress, but to remind you heaven is near. The white dove has long been a sacred symbol across traditions. In the Judeo-Christian faith, it represents the Holy Spirit, descending gently, bearing peace. In spiritual mysticism, it symbolizes the unseen presence that walks with the chosen through darkness and doubt. It is the embodiment of sacred silence, the language of heaven. When a lone white dove appears during grief, uncertainty, or moments of deep internal questioning, it is not a mere bird. It is a message. It is confirmation that though the world may seem distant, God has not turned his face away. He speaks not always in fire or thunder, but in gentle presence. Scripture confirms this in 1 Kings 19:12. When Elijah hears not God in the wind, or earthquake, or fire, but in a still small voice, the white dove is that voice in motion. It flies in quiet. It moves without chaos. And it lands only where peace is required most. For the chosen ones, the path is often marked by solitude. The burdens they carry are invisible to others. Their tears fall in silence. But the dove comes to say, you are seen. Even here, you are loved. Even in this, it does not stay long. It does not return often. But when it comes, it shifts everything. The air feels different. The heart softens. The spirit exhales. That is the dove's ministry, to carry not answers, but assurance. In many ancient cultures, the appearance of a white bird was considered a passage, a threshold moment where the sacred breaks into the ordinary. The dove crosses between dimensions, reminding us that the chosen one's life is never fully earthbound. It is watched. It is guided. It is aligned. If you have seen a white dove during a time of farewell, a prayer, or a major decision, know this: it did not appear by chance. Heaven sent it. God assigned it. And through its flight, he spoke. I know where you are. I know what you carry, and I have already prepared peace for you. The dove is not loud, but it is powerful. It is not persistent, but it is precise. And when it appears, receive its message. You are not alone. The new season has begun. Walk in peace, for heaven walks with you. Chapter 6. The Owl, Night Watcher, and the Gift of Silent Discernment. It is in the stillness of night that the owl arrives, when the world sleeps and even the stars seem hushed. It watches, not with fear, but with clarity. The owl does not flinch at darkness, for it was made to see in it. So too are the chosen ones called to navigate the unseen with a vision sharpened by silence. The owl appears during times when questions outnumber answers, when the path is unclear, and when heaven itself seems silent. But its arrival is no accident. It is a living symbol of spiritual discernment. The owl sees what others miss. It understands what chaos tries to veil. Its eyes pierce illusion. Its presence carries wisdom. In the traditions of both mystics and prophets, the owl is seen as a guide of transformation. Its nocturnal nature makes it an archetype for the soul that learns not through comfort, but through contemplation. The chosen ones often walk through long spiritual nights. Yet it is in those very hours that the owl perches nearby, unseen by others, but undeniably felt by those whose spirits are open. Isaiah 45:3 says, I will give you treasures of darkness and hidden riches of secret places. The owl confirms this scripture not with words, but with stillness. Its gift is not noise, but knowing. It carries an awareness honed not by fear, but by faith. Unlike other animals, the owl doesn't rush. It does not react. It observes. And in that observation, it teaches the chosen to pause to feel before acting, to discern before speaking. This is not weakness. It is spiritual strategy. When the owl locks eyes with you, it is not a stare of threat. It is a recognition, a mark of kinship. It knows what it sees because it sees what is true. If one has crossed your path in a time of decision, reflection, or even despair, know this: you are being seen by the unseen, and you are being reminded of who you are becoming. The owl is the companion of those who walk the narrow path. The watchers, the prophets, the seers, those who have chosen the way of inner transformation over outward approval. And it comes not to entertain, but to affirm. You have grown, you are awake, and you no longer fear the dark, because your spirit has learned to see through it. Trust what you see. Speak only when heaven moves you, and never doubt that, even in silence, heaven is guiding you with eternal eyes that never sleep. Chapter 7. The Hummingbird. Healing wings and the return of joy, delicate and swift. The hummingbird appears like a fleeting whisper of color and light. Its wings vibrate so quickly they are nearly invisible to the human eye. Yet it moves with grace and precision, defying gravity with every beat. For the chosen ones, the hummingbird is not merely a marvel of nature, it is a messenger of inner renewal. To see a hummingbird, especially one shimmering in hues of green and blue, is to receive a call back to joy, not the joy of circumstance, but the deeper joy that lives beneath pain, beyond striving, untouched by the chaos of the world. The hummingbird visits those whose hearts have been heavy, those who have carried burdens quietly, those who may have forgotten how to smile from the soul. Its appearance is gentle, but intentional. It hovers where the air is pure. It visits only where something sacred resonates, and when it chooses to come near, it is because your soul is emitting a frequency of quiet faith, one that heaven recognizes even if no one else does. In spiritual symbolism, the green of the hummingbird speaks of healing, while the blue points to divine peace. Together, they declare that a new emotional season is upon you. Where there was sorrow, serenity is now being offered. Where there was tension, trust is being restored. Psalm 30:11 says, "You turned my mourning into dancing. You removed my sackcloth and clothed me with joy." The hummingbird embodies this transformation. It comes to say, the time for mourning is ending. The season of renewal is near. Its rapid, darting motion is also deeply symbolic. It teaches the chosen to remain flexible, to adapt to changes without losing essence, to find sweetness even in scarcity. Like the bird that seeks nectar in hidden flowers, you too are being called to seek beauty in the overlooked, to drink deeply from the moments that others pass by. When a hummingbird dances before you during a weary week, or lands nearby while your thoughts are troubled, pause and receive its message. You have survived. You have endured. Now you are being reminded to live, not just exist, but live fully, joyfully, lightly. The hummingbird is heaven's whisper. Do not let sorrow have the final word. Let your soul remember the sweetness of being alive, for I am with you in grace, in color, in flight. Chapter 8. The cat, mystery, guardianship, and the hidden light. It approaches without a sound, no meow, no request, just presence. A lone cat stepping toward you, not with demand, but with recognition. This is no random meeting. It is an ancient communion. The cat has always been a creature cloaked in mystery, revered in Egypt, feared in dark folklore, and misunderstood by many. Its energy is both watchful and wise. For the chosen ones, a cat's silent arrival often means far more than comfort. It means you are being guarded. Cats do not follow noise. They follow frequency. And when one chooses your presence, your space, your silence, it's because something in you resonates with the divine order. It is sensing the invisible vibration of purpose, a light not seen by the eye, but deeply felt by those attuned to spiritual reality. In mystic traditions, The cat represents the sacred feminine, inner vision, and spiritual discernment. It watches, waits, and only moves when alignment is true. Similarly, the chosen are called not to react, but to respond, not to prove, but to radiate. A cat's stillness mirrors your own growth. You no longer chase what isn't meant for you. You no longer explain your light to those committed to darkness. You simply are. And in that being, your spirit draws companions from unseen realms. Job 12:7-8 urges us. Ask the animals, and they will teach you. Speak to the earth, and it will instruct you. The cat teaches that not all protection roars. Some simply rests beside you in silence, confirming what your heart already knows. You are not alone. If a cat has ever approached during prayer, reflection, or even grief, let it be known it was sent. It was responding to your essence, not to feed, not to claim, but to affirm. You have been noticed, you have been chosen, and even the guardians of mystery stand watch at your side. The cat's presence is not loud, but it is layered. It carries a message encoded in quiet. Your soul is seen, your path is honored, and heaven has sent protection in the form the world often overlooks. Stay open, stay aware, and know that even in the most mundane moments, you are never unwitnessed. Chapter 9. The dog, loyalty, guardianship, and the silent follower. It didn't bark, it didn't beg, it simply walked beside you, uninvited but unwavering. This is no ordinary encounter. The dog that appears from nowhere, tail down, eyes steady, staying at your side without demand. This is a messenger, a guardian, a spiritual echo of the loyalty you've carried in silence. In every culture across time, dogs have symbolized fidelity, protection, and selfless companionship. For the chosen ones, whose paths are often marked by betrayal, abandonment, and isolation, the arrival of a dog that stays is a divine confirmation your spirit has not gone unnoticed. Dogs feel energy more than they interpret appearance. They are drawn to purity, to purpose, to the silent pulse of truth. When one walks beside you, with no leash and no reason, it is responding to the light you carry, perhaps even the burdens you've kept hidden. Psalm 23 speaks of a shepherd who walks with us through the valley of the shadow of death. The silent dog is a reflection of that guidance in physical form, not with words, but with presence, not to lead, but to accompany. This kind of loyalty is rare, and its appearance reminds the chosen one your faithfulness is felt, your consistency is seen, even if no one has thanked you, even if you've cried alone. God sends affirmation in forms that cannot lie, like the creature that guards you without question. The dog doesn't seek your food, your praise, or your comfort. It simply stays, because the energy of heaven placed it there, to walk with you, to remind you. You are not forsaken. You are not wandering blindly. You are not invisible. And if this companion has followed you during a time of uncertainty, decision, or deep inner weariness, understand this: it is not just a creature, it is a confirmation. Your path is being watched, your steps are being blessed, and even in your solitude, you are never truly alone. Walk forward with peace, for you are followed not only by dogs, but by divine purpose. Chapter 10. The horse, strength, freedom, and the call to journey forward. There are sacred moments in life when you are met, not by a voice, but by movement strong, rhythmic, undeniable. A horse approaches, calm, unstartled. It comes to you as if called by something it trusts. But it is not your voice it hears. It is your essence. The horse is a symbol of strength in motion, of freedom that knows no fence, and of a sacred readiness to carry what must move forward. In the spiritual realm, the horse does not appear to all, it appears to those who are prepared, whether they know it yet or not. When a horse steps toward a chosen one without fear, it is a confirmation that your soul has matured beyond stillness. You are being called to move, to travel a road that cannot be walked without courage. It is not about speed, it is about willingness, the willingness to trust a path not fully revealed. Horses carry the legacy of the prophets, the warriors, and the wanderers. In Revelation 19:11, Christ is depicted as returning on a white horse, an image of power, purity, and divine mission. So too, the horse that finds you carries a message. Your mission is ready to unfold. For the chosen, the arrival of a horse is a call to stop waiting for permission. The spiritual muscles have been built in silence. The vision has been refined through tears. And now, the earth itself is responding. The horse says, "Do not stand still in places where you are meant to gallop. Do not settle where you are meant to soar. Do not hesitate when heaven says go." This sacred animal, known for its loyalty and discernment, does not approach chaos. It comes to those who emanate clarity, even if cloaked in pain. Its gaze reads readiness. Its steps mirror destiny. And if it has crossed your path during travel, retreat, or even reflection, know that God is saying, it is time. Time to break through limitations. Time to trust the inner strength I've built in you. Time to journey toward the fullness of who you are. Let your fear fall away like dust from your boots. Let your steps align with the rhythm of trust, and ride not to escape, but to arrive at the purpose for which you were born. Chapter 11, the raven shadow, revelation, and the hidden path. It circles overhead or lands near in moments you least expect, on a fence post, a tree branch, or even in your dreams. The raven, dark and mysterious, often misunderstood, is not a harbinger of fear for the chosen one. It is a bringer of revelation. In many cultures, the raven is feared for its association with death, but spiritual tradition reveals a deeper truth. The raven is not about endings, but about transitions. It appears when something hidden is about to be revealed, when the veil is thinning, when the spirit is ready to receive what others cannot perceive. For the chosen, the raven does not come as a warning. It comes as a guide. It stands at the threshold between the seen and the unseen, whispering secrets not in words, but in signs. In 1 Kings 17:6, God sends ravens to feed the prophet Elijah in the wilderness. This is no accident, it is a pattern. The raven provides in desolation. It sustains in hidden places. When a raven crosses your path during deep introspection, grief, or confusion, it is not mocking you, it is ministering to you. It brings clarity cloaked in mystery. It asks you to see beyond the surface, to look deeper, to listen between the silences. The raven does not flatter. It does not perform. It delivers the raw truth of your journey, the parts of your transformation that require courage, not comfort. And when you are ready, it brings the revelation you didn't know you were seeking. If a raven has followed you, spoken in your dreams, or appeared during a moment of decision, take note. It is a sacred messenger of both shadow and light. It asks, are you willing to face the truth beneath the illusion? Are you ready to walk the hidden path prepared for you? The raven comes not to frighten, but to awaken, not to condemn, but to call forth. Your journey is shifting, your eyes are opening, and the raven flies ahead, leading you through mystery into mastery. Chapter 12. The deer, gentleness, purity, and spiritual alertness. It does not rush. It does not roar. It simply appears graceful, quiet, aware. The deer stands at the edge of the forest, watching, listening, sensing everything before it takes a single step. For the chosen ones, the deer is not only a symbol of innocence, but also of divine awareness. The deer approaches when your spirit is open, when gentleness has become your strength. It sees the sacred stillness within you and responds to that quiet energy. Unlike other animals that are drawn to motion or sound, the deer is drawn to stillness that carries intention, just like the stillness within a praying soul. Psalm 42:1 says, "As the deer pants for streams of water, so my soul pants for you." My God, this is not a poetic metaphor alone. It is a mirror of the chosen one's longing. The deer's presence marks those who are seeking heaven with purity of heart. It is drawn to those who carry no ill will, no violent agenda, only hunger for truth and presence. Its eyes are wide, not out of fear, but out of attentiveness. It feels what others miss. It reacts to energy shifts before danger even arises. And so too, the chosen must learn to live spiritually alert, not paranoid, but prepared, not anxious, but aware. When a deer appears in your life, in person or in vision, it is calling you back to purity. It reminds you that power is not always loud, that guidance can come in soft steps, that being set apart is not always about being strong in the world's eyes, but about being still enough to hear the whispers of God. If a deer crossed your path while you were in a moment of reflection, sadness, or spiritual decision, take it as a sign. Heaven has noticed your gentleness. Your purity is being honored. Your awareness is becoming your shield. Walk forward with soft steps and open eyes, for you are being led with wisdom that needs no noise to be real. And the deer, like heaven, trusts those who walk in quiet truth.